Hello, welcome to latest edition. I'm joined by regular Sean. How you going, Sean?
Yeah, all good, thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yep, all good, thank you. All good. So this evening we're going to talk about Mayweather versus Pacquiao 2, due for September on Netflix. Another move made by Netflix. Let's be honest, Sean. The first part is probably 10 years too late. This is probably something like 21 years too late. But give us your thoughts on it, Sean. Still worth a watch?
I think it will be just because of their names. I mean, I'm at the age when I was getting into boxing. These two were at the spearhead of the sport. I was a young whippersnapper when Ricky Hatton fought Mayweather and Pacquiao. So, yeah, really the defining guys for me getting into boxing, I suppose. So, yeah, although with a bit of trepidation, I think I'll be watching.
So Pacquiao's come out swinging, metaphorically, saying that he wants Mayweather to learn the feeling of defeat, and he wants to be the one to put that defeat on him. I think there is a bit of mutual respect between them, but there's also that rivalry still in there. I think Pacquiao feels he's got something to set straight here in terms of record, right?
Yeah, I think if it happened in their heyday, when it was sort of rumoured to almost happen back in 2008, 2009, about there or thereabouts, I actually think Pacquiao probably would have beaten him at that point in their careers because Floyd was coming off that bit of a layoff, if you remember. Um, so yeah, I think Pacquiao's had the bit in his teeth ever since. Do we know if Freddie Roach is training him for this one?
Don't know at this stage. Don't know, but obviously Pacquiao's more active of the two. Pacquiao's had the most recent competitive fight, held up quite well. Held up quite well. Mayweather's been fighting Japanese kickboxing, God knows what else recently. So Mayweather better get some decent sparring in because he's going to have a baptism of fire once he jumps in with Manny compared to recent opponents, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I presume he's kept up a certain element of training, even though he's not
He
been
looks in
boxing
good
anyone.
shape. You know, he looks in
Yeah,
good shape.
so yeah, I think for these type of guys, well, particularly Floyd, I think although he's what he turned 50 today, I think, or he's knocking on the door of 50, I think it's almost like riding a bike for him. I think he can just pick it up as and when he wants. They're both of a similar age as well, so yeah, I anticipate it could be a hard watch at times, given they are older now, but I still think it will be somewhat entertaining.
One thing that worries me about Mayweather, obviously he worked off reflexes, and we all know as you get older, well, you might not yet, but I definitely do. As you get older, your reflexes slow down a little bit. So, will he be more hittable? Will he be able to keep out the way of punches? Because, like I said, his game heavily relied on reflexes, right? Especially towards the second half of his career.
Yeah, definitely. That will be one thing to note as well. Well, you could say it for both of them, to be fair. Although Pacquiao, he wasn't relying on reflexes, it was speed with him, wasn't it? And at 47, I believe he is. I don't know how quick he'll be per se.
Well, he still looked pretty quick against Barrios, didn't he? Who's an active fighter. He still looked pretty quick against him, and a lot of people think he might have won that fight. So maybe he has got a bit of speed left. But one thing I don't agree with you on is that Pacquiao would have beat Mayweather at any point during his career, because I just think Mayweather was his kryptonite, if I'm honest with you. Especially when he was an active fighter. I don't think Pacquiao would have been able to work him out. But now, as we get, obviously, with Floyd being inactive and Pacquiao being more active, if you think about Ugas and people like that as well that he's fought relatively recent, that's going to level it up a little bit into, as much as people say they don't want to watch it because they're getting older, blah, 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 it's very intriguing, isn't it? It's intriguing when that first bell goes, what have they got left?
Yeah, the other interesting subplot to this, and we know what Floyd's like as a character, but given arguably he ironically needs a few dollars at the moment, let's say, I wonder, I'm not going to say he's going to swallow it, But I wonder if there will be some favourable judging in favour of Manny Pacquiao if it goes close, so they could get a trilogy out of it.
Yep. Well, they're earning a lot of money from this fight, aren't they? So I'm sure they're not adverse to picking that sort of money up again. And dare I say, Conor Ben might be in the mix of this lot somewhere as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, one thing I can actually envisage as well is somehow the WBC, as we all know what they're like as a governing body, I can see somehow that they'll orchestrate either Ryan Garcia becoming a champion in recess or something along those lines. And I could see these actually two fighting for the welterweight WBC championship in this fight.
Yeah, it's very interesting, just going off piece for a minute, the WBC's relationship with Dana White and Suffer Boxing, because in one breath Suffer Boxing saying forget about the legacy belts and we're going to create our own belts, and then in the next breath Jai Opataya, Conor Ben and people like that are still wanting to fight for the WBC, so there's quite a bit to unpick there, isn't there?
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. I mean, I can't see many people wanting to fight for this Suffer belt. It's got no lineage or history behind it, has it?
Like that though, hasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Yeah. But where does it, I mean, I know it's hypothetical and it's a short career, but there has to be an element of still wanting to achieve something in the sport rather than just being in it for money.
Yep. If they can work it out, they'll want the cake and eat it, won't they?
Definitely.
You know, they want to be on the books, but they'll want a chance at the legacy belts as well. All right, Sean, so last part in your pocket. Over Pacquiao, who's winning and how?
Well, I best stick with what I said from the outset. I think Manny Pacquiao will win. I think he's just slightly fresher. As you say, Floyd's been a bit inactive. I know it's labelled as a professional fight, but I'm intrigued to see what it will actually be like. I mean, we all know Floyd's pretentious and he's very proud of his 50-0 professional career. I mean, like I say, I don't think he'll swallow it easy to have a 50-1 to get a trilogy, but I can see him definitely fighting again after this fight.
Yeah, I think I'm leaning toward Pacquiao. I would never have done it when Floyd was active. But against a backdrop of inactivity, fighting kickboxers, and the fact that Pacquiao's had more active fights with active fighters, just leans me towards Pacquiao. And like you said, the sinister side of me suggests that then maybe there's a trilogy. And they might even come to the UK and do it, bearing in mind the level of interest it will create in the UK. So that's my prediction. I'm going to go Pacquiao on points. Okay. That's mine and Sean's take on Mayweather versus Pacquiao 2. This has been Last Ball Boxing, proudly sponsored by SC Travel Limited and Shore Building Services. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next video. Cheers, Sean.